Mr. Chairman, this is Teresa.
Good morning, Teresa.
Good morning. We are ready to begin when you are.
Thank you, Teresa. We'd like to call the September 16th meeting of the Planning Commission. It's a special meeting for the town of Hilton head to order. And Teresa, are we in compliance with FOIA?
Yes, sir.
Okay, would you please call the roll?
Yes, sir. Mr. Perry?
Here.
Mr. Stevens?
Here.
Ms. McGowan?
Unmute yourself, Leslie.
Before. I'm here.
Thank you. Mr. O'Neill?
Here.
Mr. Scanlon?
Here.
Mr. Alfred?
Here.
Mr. Theodore?
Here.
Mr. Christian?
Here. And do we have any changes to the agenda from the staff perspective?
No, sir.
Okay, can I have a motion to approve the agenda from the commissioners?
So moved.
Okay, Stephen, I've got Alan had his hand up second. Would you please call the roll?
Mr. Perry?
Approve.
Mr. Stevens?
Approve.
Ms. McGowan?
Approved.
Mr. O'Neill?
Approve.
Mr. Scanlon?
Approve.
Mr. Alfred?
Approve.
Mr. Theodore?
Approved.
Mr. Christian?
Approved. All right, we have 3 sets of minutes, and I'd like to take them all 3 at once, if agreeable. We have the special meeting of August 19th, 2020, the special meeting of August 26th, 2020, and the special meeting of September 2nd, 2020. Can I have a motion to approve all 3 sets of minutes? Michael? Alan? Second. All right, if you have any changes to any of these sets of minutes, when Teresa calls your name, give your yay or nay, but also give your correction if you have one. Teresa, would you please call the roll?
Yes, sir. Mr. Perry?
Approve.
Mr. Stevens?
Approve.
Ms. McGowan?
Approve.
Mr. O'Neill?
Approve.
Mr. Scanlon?
Approve.
Mr. Alfred?
Approve.
Mr. Theodore?
Approved.
Mr. Christian?
Approve.
Thank you.
All right, we have no unfinished business, and we have new business. And this is one of the last steps in a very, very long journey through the visioning process and then through the development team process and onto the comp plan. And now we're here for a final review and hopefully a recommendation to the town council on our plan and the comprehensive plan. So Taylor, are you in the bullpen ready to make your presentation?
Yes, sir, I am.
Okay,
Good morning.
please proceed.
All right. We'll switch over. Here. There we go. Good morning, Planning Commission and Island Community and Town Council members who may be watching the meeting. Thank you for joining us. This is a very exciting day for our plan, and I look forward to presenting some information this morning and hearing back from you guys. So for the record, I'm Taylor Ladd, Senior Planner and Project Lead for our plan. To start our public hearing today, I'm going to spend a few minutes on an overview of our plan. A lot of this will be a rerun for some of you, but is for the benefit of any meeting attendees today who are new to the plan or just need a little refresher. I'll also briefly go over some of what is in the meeting agenda packet today regarding how we've been addressing feedback and comments about the plan up to this point, as well as what it means for moving forward. State legislation requires municipalities to have a comprehensive plan. It is required to project future planning out 20 years. By law, we're required to reevaluate it at least every 5 years and do a complete update every 10. As our last complete update was in 2010, we have been working on a new plan since last year, as directed by Town Council, for adoption this year. This new plan will be for 2020 to 2040 and has been branded Our Plan. The town's comprehensive plan is a very important document that impacts everything the town does for not only its operations, but also for the community. It is the official policy and planning guide that identifies the course our community should take to grow, address change, and make progress for the next 20 years. The state legislation also defines the components that should be included in the comprehensive plan: inventory of existing conditions, statements of need and goals, implementation strategies, community and citizen participation, and 9 elements. A municipality can add more elements as needed. For example, the town added a recreation element in 2005. Leeway is also provided for communities to address each component at a level of detail that may be needed to address unique conditions and circumstances, specifically with the 9 elements. The significance of our plan for this update is that it has carried forward the momentum and efforts from the Our Future community initiative the town did 2017 to 2018. The Our Plan brand is a derivation of Our Future plus comprehensive plan. Our Future was an extensive engagement project the town launched to hear from the community. This timeline shows how the Our Future effort, shown in green on the left, fed into our plan. Our Future produced the Hilton Head Island Vision and Strategic Action Plan, which was adopted by Town Council in 2018. That document was utilized by staff and the community to help develop our plan. The only change is the 7 pillars identified in Our Future were redefined as core values for our plan. A significant aspect of Our Future is that it produced a vision for the island for the next 20 years. The vision is reinventing sustainability again. This means the town of Hilton Head Island will focus on the revitalization and modernization of its economy and infrastructure while building an inclusive and diverse community. For our plan, sustainability is the cross-section of environment, society, and the economy, where a community balanced in these 3 things has viable economic development, a resilient built environment, and equitable social conditions. Our Future started as a town council initiative. It was embraced by the community and is a reflection of the island, its culture, and people. This vision came from the island community. The comprehensive plan, our plan, is intended to help usher this vision forward by directing the town's focus and parameters for future policy and decision making. Directly from the Our Future effort, as I mentioned, are these 7 important core values that represent the island's priorities and future aspirations. The core values were developed in response to the community input, comments, feedback, and direction during the Our Future vision process. Historically, the town's comprehensive plans have been built and designed around the state's list of elements, with a chapter for each element that addresses information about the town, with goals and implementation strategies. Our plan is different. Continuing the community engagement precedent set by Our Future, the town invited community members, anchor institutions, and stakeholders to participate in advisory work groups with a lead development team to help structure our plan around the core values. We logged over 900 hours of community participation time to help develop goals, strategies, and tactics for the plan based on the core values. Our plan is very much a community plan, reflective of the issues our island might face going into the next 20 years while drawing on our strengths. The only elements specifically addressed in our plan are recreation and priority investment. The recreation element has been replaced by a Parks and Recreation section that was supported by a task group of local Parks and Rec advocates, experts, and community members. It includes the Parks and Recreation master planning effort that happened concurrently with our plan. The purpose of priority investment is to tie the capital improvements needs identified in our plan to forecasted revenues for the current and upcoming fiscal years. This section is a synthesis of prior comprehensive plan development efforts and the town's CIP budget, which is a public process. These two elements are specifically addressed with larger sections in our plan because they represent significant interest areas and investments falling within the town's jurisdiction and direct scope of work for the island community. In our plan's contents, we have the front matter, 5 main sections, and 2 reference sections. The plan is written so that each section flows and complements the other, but any section is also able to stand alone. The writing is a blend of technical information with a conversational style intended to be interesting yet informative while maintaining its functionality as a town document. This is the meeting progression we have followed to introduce our plan to the community and elected and appointed officials. 2 official meetings have been held leading up to today as part of the adoption process, highlighted in blue on the screen. The development team met in August to discuss our plan and voted unanimously to forward it to the Comprehensive Plan Committee. They also provided staff with lots of good feedback. Staff took their comments under consideration and prepared a response with proposed revisions included in today's agenda packet as Exhibit A. Following the development team meeting, the Comprehensive Plan Committee of Planning Commission met in late August and voted unanimously to forward our plan to Planning Commission for today's public hearing. Staff has also conducted 2 information sessions about our plan and a workshop with the Planning Commission and Town Council. Exhibits B, C, D, and E in the agenda packet today are the collection of comments and staff's proposed revisions resulting from the workshop. The draft of our plan was released for the public in official adoption review procedure in late July. Since then, we have received comments and feedback from our elected and appointed officials and the public, as I mentioned in the last slide. Every meeting we hold has presented opportunity to fine-tune what is in the plan. Staff's response to this feedback, as well as to the discovery of any omissions in the plan, are being documented in a specific way to ensure any changes made as a result of our meetings and public comment can be tracked. In the agenda packet for today's public hearing, staff has included all proposed revisions, additions, explanations, and changes to date as described in the staff memo exhibits. Exhibits A and B present the collection of comments received from the development team meeting and Planning Commission Town Council workshop. Comments are organized numerically by topic with staff's comments or suggested revisions. Any suggested revisions are also organized numerically based on responses to comments under each topic. Exhibits C, D, and E present expanded revisions for comments that came out of the workshop. C is a focused discussion about the island's Gullah community proposed for addition to the Cultural Resources segment in Section 2.0 of our plan. This is in reference to item 10.1.2 in Exhibit B. Exhibit D is the proposed revision for the recommendations and action items in the Parks and Recs Section 4.7. The additional notations you see in green on the left of the screen will show which parks and recreation goals and strategies are addressed by each item. This is in reference to item number 11.4.1 in Exhibit B. Exhibit E is a new segment proposed for addition to the Section 3.0 introduction. This presents the specific core value goals and strategies as they relate to each of the elements and is organized by element. This information is also proposed to be included in the appendix so that the goals and strategies in the plan can be searched using the core value tables or searched by element. Ultimately, the intention is for all the goals and strategies in our plan to be sorted interchangeably by core value or by element once we have a digital platform for our plan. This new section reinforces that in the book format. Finally, Exhibit F lists typographic or editorial revisions that staff has found in the draft that may not have come up in a meeting. The Planning Commission is required by law to vote on a resolution recommending our plan to Town Council. Our meeting and public hearing today is to facilitate that action. Following today's vote and resolution, we anticipate having a public hearing and first reading with Town Council on October 6th, along with the adoption of the Parks and Recreation Master Plan. On October 20, we anticipate a second reading and our plan adoption by Town Council. Adoption of our plan will meet the requirements of the state's comprehensive plan enabling legislation and will provide a foundation for the island's future growth and development. This concludes my presentation. Thank you very much. I welcome discussion and will be happy to answer any questions.
All right, Teresa, do we want to do public comment? I know we have Heather Rath has signed up to speak, or do we want to go through the commissioners first, or is that my prerogative?
Mr. Chairman, that is your prerogative, but I would say that Ms. Rath, she is not on the line at this time, so we could maybe circle back after the commissioner's comments to see if she joins us.
All right, well, we're going to go through in order then with each of the commissioners if they have a comment. And Taylor, is it staff's recommendation that the noted changes be incorporated into the final document?
Yes, sir, it is, based
Okay, so
on how staff has responded.
So that's what we will be looking at, is the staff recommendation along with the entire document. So
Yes, sir.
Teresa, if you would, I will go through each. Mike Scanlon, comments?
Yes, sir. Yes, I had a question. When you get back to around page 94, you have the big wheel, our plan developed, and you got the economy and connected and so on and so forth. I didn't see a subsequent page for the inclusive section. Is there a particular reason for that? Or maybe even excellence too. I didn't see, I don't know, but I don't recall seeing one for excellence either.
Do you mean in the supplement?
Yes, in
in
the pages
Exhibit
that
E?
follow. Yeah, the pages that follow page 94.
The proposed pages. The proposed pages are organized by element. So
Yeah.
you're going to have each of the elements have a page dedicated, and then well, they all should. All of the core values should be listed on each of the page, and then all of the goals and strategies.
I understand, but I do not see subsequent page, a subsequent smaller wheel for either inclusive or the excellence part of the wheel. Is there a reason for that?
Oh, well, those are core values. I only did wheels for each element.
Oh, I see. Okay, fair enough.
Michael, as chair of the Comprehensive Planning Committee, do you have anything else you'd like to say on behalf of the Comp Planning Committee?
Yes, I'm hoping that the final motion, if we forward this to town council, would be that we include all of the various recommendations that are listed in these various appendixes. Exhibits A through E, I guess it is. I just wanted to make sure that all of that language will be put into the plan in our final motion.
Understood. We will take that up once we get through all of the commissioners' comments and public comments.
Okay.
Alan Perry.
Yeah, really just another great editorial job on getting everything in there. Really, it has answered all of my questions and concerns, so I think it's another great effort by town staff. Thank you.
Thank you, Alan. Mark O'Neill. Unmute yourself, Mark.
Someday I'll get that right. I'd echo Alan's comments in terms of the excellent staff work that's been done on this all the way through, and I have no comments except to say little concerned with priorities and how they'll be handled in the implementation phase of that, but I suppose we'll deal with that at a later time.
Thank you, Mark. Todd Theodore.
No, I just echo what everybody else said, and a lot of effort, a lot of people, public involvement, and it's great to see this come to final review on Planning Commission. So good job, and good job, Taylor, for leading this process.
Thank you, Todd. Leslie McGowan.
Yeah, any concerns or questions I have been addressed. Congratulations on a long journey, including getting through way to do this through the pandemic.
Thank you, Leslie. Stephen Alford.
One little matter, Taylor, if you could refresh my recollection in light of the extensive detail in the recreation sections versus the broad generalities of the other sections. Is there some place of an explanation as to why that variation?
I believe there is in the introduction for the Parks and Recreation section, as well as in the introduction for the priority investment section as well. I can take a look at the general introduction for the document and make sure that is addressed, but I believe it's addressed there. I'll double check that.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Stephen. LaVarn Stevens, our Vice Chairman.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Yeah, I certainly want to commend the staff on this work in this document, and certainly also want to commend the community for their input. And I know it was a challenge trying to gather input with everybody's schedules, and pulling this together was a great task, a Herculean task for sure. The only question that I have was, I believe last time I'd raised the question in the historical section on page 23. There was some reference made to Goodwill Church, and did a little research and found out that that is actually eventually was the historic First African Baptist Church. I'm just wondering if there's a way to put some language in there to kind of clarify that. That's a moment that I think that's educational. Certainly I learn something every time. But that's really my only comment.
Okay.
Thank you,
I can add a note in the margin of the timeline to clarify that. I did remove for under Exhibit B, item 10.2.1, to remove Goodwill from the list of names of church that came out of that. But I'm happy to add in the margin a note about all the genesis of that church over time to clarify the historical nature of it.
I think that would be good to keep it in there and just kind of clarify what exactly.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you, LaVarn. And I'd like to, echo LaVarn's comments about the community involvement, the work of the commissioners and past commissioners on this particular item, the work of the development team that several of us were on, the Comprehensive Planning Committee, and all the members of the community who participated on the task forces, and the members of the community who provided, testimony and input into the process, and of course the town staff who took all that information and put it into this document that we now hope we will be forwarding on to the town council as a recommendation. And
I'm sorry, Mr. Chair. I had one other note that I wanted to ask Taylor about as well. I believe in the public arts section, I had also made an observation to maybe include Michael Smalls in the basket, his basket making to be included there with the public arts. Did you have that in your notes?
No, sir. I apologize. I overlooked that comment from you. The arts, culture, and venues section, is that what you're talking about?
I believe so, yes.
Okay. I will see where is a good place to make mention about that. I certainly can do that. It may not be specifically on that page, but I think I can find somewhere in the GOLA references to make note of that, because the page you're talking about is more in reference to public art installations like sculptures on the island and our venues. So I'll find a good location to add that, and I'll reach out to you to get more specifics and details about it so I can get it right. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you. I'm sorry.
You're fine, LeVarn. Thank you for that comment. And we're now at the point where I would entertain a motion. And before we do that, I know that Councilmember Stanford, Becker, and Lennox are on this call, and welcome them to the commission meeting. There is a resolution that was part of the board of the commission's packet, and it is a comprehensive resolution. And if someone would like to move that resolution, with the caveat that it include the staff recommendations and the recommendations that have been offered by the commissioners during this meeting.
Mr.
Michael, would you
Chairman.
like to make that motion?
Yes, I
Mr.
certainly,
Chairman.
Yeah.
Yes.
You
I'm
need me
sorry.
you need me to read that resolution, Teresa?
No, sir. But Mr. Chairman, Heather Rath is on the line, and since this is a public hearing, if we could open it up to her to have her 3 minutes.
We would be honored to have Heather. Heather, you have the floor.
Hi, Mr. Chairman and Commission. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can.
Okay, great. Sorry for the delay. I'm trying to hop on here as I'm doing Zoom with the kids. I just wanted to make sure that some comments were entered into the record. My name is Heather Rath, and I'm the chair of the Greater Island Council Parks and Rec Committee. I wanted to give kudos today to town staff and all of the citizens for successfully blending the various components of the original vision work done years ago, the Parks and Rec master plan, input from literally hundreds of people, the Parks and Rec task groups, and the Parks and Rec Commission into an our plan effort that will feed into our future comprehensive plan. This is a daunting challenge to say the least, but they brought it all together. And again, we as members of the community that we represent and the people that we know and the people that we work with and live with and play with totally support this plan going forward. We feel it represents a blueprint for success that will result in amplifying our world-class place to live and our destination. A plan like this with hundreds of moving components has never been done at this level on this island and with this level of competence and completeness. We in the Greater Island Council Parks and Rec Committee enjoy and appreciate the high level of collaboration that existed in this effort. We stand ready to support town staff and the Planning Commission and Town Council as these plans move forward from the planning stages to implementation. We truly believe it will be a great result we are all proud of as we work to make Hilton Head better for everyone. And last, on a personal note, I really want to say thanks to Taylor Ladd and Jennifer Ray for their immense knowledge and love for our community, their collaboration, and of course, for their commitment to excellence. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Heather, for those kind comments. All right, we'll bring it back to the commissioners. And Michael, you have the floor.
yes, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to move adoption of the our plan with the recommendations that are specified in the exhibits. I believe there's 5 exhibits, all 5, so that these be incorporated into the final plan if approved by Town Council. I would so move that we adopt this resolution.
Okay, and this would be in the form of a recommendation to the Town Council. Is that correct?
Correct.
Is there a second to Michael's motion?
Second.
All right, thank you, Alan. Okay. Teresa, if you would call the roll, and if there are any comments as each commissioner's name is called, please comment at that time. But if you just agree with the resolution, with the motion, please signify by saying aye. So Teresa, would you please call the roll?
Yes, sir. Mr. Scanlon.
Aye.
Mr. Perry.
Aye.
Mr. O'Neill.
Aye.
Mr. Theodore.
Levon, does that put your comments in there too?
Is that what the motion is that's on the floor now with those?
Yeah, yes, that's what the motion is.
Okay, aye.
Ms. McGowan.
Aye.
Mr. Alfred.
Aye.
Mr. Stevens.
Aye.
Mr. Christian.
Aye. It's unanimous. Thank you for all of your hard work and We move this now on to the town council for their consideration. Wonderful work by all concerned. Teresa,
Thank you
did
very
we have
much.
citizen comments?
Citizens were provided the opportunity to give comments on general planning commission business during the meeting by phone. We had no requests from citizens to speak on general commission business.
Thank you, Teresa. Okay, chairman's report. The only other item I have is on a personal note. Stephen, we were very saddened to hear of the passing of your wife, and our deepest condolences from myself and your fellow commissioners and the staff at your loss. Our thoughts and prayers are with you and your family.
Thank you very much, Peter.
And let's move on to committee reports. Todd, anything from CIP?
Nothing new to report.
Okay. Michael, you've done some heavy lifting. Anything further from the comp plan?
No, we've just finished my work. Thank you.
Okay. LaVarn, I know you have something from the Gullah Geechee Task Force.
We do have some exciting news. We are in the middle of the recommendations that the task force has been working on, along with staff. And I'm sure that Leslie would probably remind us that there is a LMO meeting this afternoon. I do have some input from the community that I would like to share with you as well. So I will get that to you. And I hope that the commissioners will be able to join in with the meeting this afternoon to move these recommendations forward. The task force has worked very hard along with the community and certainly with the work of the staff. I have to commend the staff once again and our historic neighborhoods administrator, Dr. DeBose, and for some of the challenges that we faced. And again, as I always encourage us in thinking outside the box. I will continue to repeat that theme as hopefully these recommendations move from LMO to Planning Commission and finally to the Town Council for adoption. It's a great start, and there's a lot of meat on that bone, and hopefully it will give some folks some relief and some options about what we can do here in the town. And we look forward to making some of those things come to fruition. Thank you.
Thank you, LaVarn. And Leslie, LaVarn just teed you up. So what time is your meeting this afternoon?
We're meeting at 2 o'clock this afternoon. It's officially called the Historic Neighborhoods Preservation Overlay. Starting our review, and hopefully we'll move it forward.
Thank you, Leslie. The LMO committee, as usual, is doing yeoman's work, moving things through. You're always busy. And you can thank LaVarn and the rest of us for keeping you busy.
We'll give you some more.
All right. Rules and procedures. Alan, anything?
Nope, nothing to report.
Okay. Staff report. Teresa?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, just an item of housekeeping for the public hearing. If you could just formally announce that the public hearing is closed.
Oh, I'm sorry. The public hearing is closed.
Thank you so much. Okay, so I do have an update on the October 14th meeting, which is at 9 o'clock. So initially, staff had let the commission know that we were going to review the Historic Neighborhoods Preservation Overlay District LMO amendments. In addition to those, we will also have 2 rezonings that are tied to those amendments. So it shouldn't be too much of a lengthy meeting since they're all related. And in addition to those 3 items, we will have another set of LMO amendments related to dirt road paving. The LMO committee will be looking at that at their meeting next week. So stay tuned for that. And those are our next items for the next meeting. You guys have a little bit of a break.
Thank you so much.
You guys.
Some of you.
Yeah, I don't know where the break is, but thank you.
The commission as a whole, I guess.
All right, thank you for that report, Teresa. We don't have any further business on our agenda. We did a really great job. I appreciate everyone's comments and everyone's hard work, including staff. And I'll entertain a motion that we adjourn.
So moved.
Okay, LeVarn, Todd second. We are adjourned. Thank you all for your hard work.